All right, Bobby, you're our intro guy.
Today is a special day, and today is a podcast where we talk about that special day. Hi, I'm Bobby Parker.
And I'm Joey Nickel.
Welcome to Today Is.
All right. Welcome to the show. I almost introed us again. Welcome to the show. I'm Joey Nickel. This is Bobby Parker. What if we just did that the entire show?
It's the introduction podcast.
What if it was National Introductions Day? And we just introduced it, like, welcome to the show. I'm Joey Nickel, and this is Bobby Parker. And then you're like, hey, thank you. I'm Bobby Parker. This is Joey Nickel. We're here with Joey Nickel and Bobby Parker here on the Today Is podcast with Joey Nickel and Bobby Parker.
I see. I love that. The redundant podcast of redundancy. The podcast.
What if it was just an hour of that? How many subscribers would we get, and how many, probably not any less than we have now. Probably our podcast would probably get more subscribers. It would turn into some sort of like ASMR, like some sort of like comfort, like, oh, I really like all these like our podcast is specifically for autistic people who like hearing repetitive things,
and
or OCD people,
and for the CIA to use for torture.
Yeah, right. Like we have two very different demographics that listen to our podcast.
Yes, people love us, or they use us at Alligator Alcatraz too.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, exactly. To interrogate.
No, I will say I'm burning this idea that I've had, but it would have never been made anyways. But I was thinking about entering the 48-hour film project. It's a contest where you have 48 hours to write, film, and edit a short film. It's like 5 to 7 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
But I always want to do montage the movie. And just do an entire movie.
It's just a movie of montages,
montage.
Like the whole movie.
Yes, the entire thing.
With no actual substance to the film.
None whatsoever. It's a montage. It's possible because of the movie Up. That's what
I know. It started with a montage.
Yes.
The heart of the movie is the montage.
Exactly.
And I do feel like with today's attention span, I feel like the montage movie would probably do well.
Oh, yes. I think that there is a legitimate chance for it.
Bobby's trying to connect. Bobby's having trouble connecting to his own Wi-Fi for some reason.
I can't read your keyboard because I am old and blind. There we
are. So let's talk about anything that happened this week. Did you have any good shows this week?
So I did not have any shows, but I did have a very cool family experience.
Oh yeah?
Yes. So I was supposed to have shows on Saturday. It was canceled. That was the John Reap one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, and then like hey, it's not going to happen. I was trying to set up a guest spot, a couple different places, and just didn't work out. But ended up taking the family to Atlanta Sunday for a day trip. So we left at like 5 a.m, drove to Atlanta, and watched a soccer game. We watched PSG Paris Saint-Germain.
Oh, you went to the Club World Cup?
The Club World Cup.
Nice.
And we saw Inter Miami. We saw Messi play.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw a legend play soccer.
I know people have been talking about this. Now, how much were the tickets?
My wife bought them.
Oh, okay. Because I heard that it wasn't too bad. Like, the tickets weren't too expensive.
It was a reasonable expense for us when we are trying to save money. But we're like, hey, this is a legendary thing. We absolutely need to do
My
this.
hands are too wet to open it.
So we're like, yeah, let's do it. So we drove up. It was a Bucky stop on the way. Bucky stop on the way back.
You didn't spend the night?
We did not spend the night. We left at 5 a.m, got up there, parked, walked into the stadium, watched the game, walked out, and drove home.
That's awesome.
Yes, and it was super cool. Just seeing the legend on the field. Inter Miami got their butts kicked, 4-0 loss. Yeah. But I mean, we saw what it was like in football terms, like the Super Bowl champs PSG get to play a Legends team. So I mean, it was a cool game.
That's pretty cool. That is awesome. To go, yeah, that's one of those. That's a once in a lifetime or once in a generation experience. Like that was pretty fun.
Absolutely, yep. Yeah. So it was amazing. Loved it.
Yeah, I had been hearing, and I'm not a soccer guy, but I had been hearing a lot about that leading up to it. That that Messi was going to be in Atlanta and it was going to be a big deal. And they actually I heard something that they offered, like for their college students of the area. They offered like cheap tickets for college students to come, and people are like, "Well, how are they making money if the tickets are so cheap?" They're not making the money on the ticket sales. They're making the money on the TV broadcasts and stuff like that. Like that's where the majority of the money's being made.
Right. If they even get close to breaking even on tickets, they're fine.
Right. Yeah. Like they're not too concerned with ticket sales, which is kind of how this whole Club World Cup has gone. Like it's more about like they're not making money in the selling of tickets. That's not the idea of the Club World Cup.
I do have one last thing to share that made this the greatest day trip in the history of day trips.
Okay.
In my opinion. We got there and we're like, hey, we're going to have to pay to park somewhere. And so it was like we're fairly close to the stadium, and we're pulling in, we're waved in, we park, and we get out, and we're like, who do we pay? And the one guy goes, hey, that guy took care of it, or something, and he just kind of waved us, and we're like, we didn't pay anybody, and we're kind of like standing around, and everyone else is just walking away. We don't know if somebody paid for us, if they just skipped us, or we're some kind of charity case, but we did not pay to park.
Okay.
So that is the greatest thing that could happen for an adult day trip.
Yeah, unexpected free parking. Yeah.
Yes, like hey, this is working out for us. This is the best thing ever.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So free parking, loved it.
All right, I don't know. There's something I'm missing some emails here.
Oh no.
I was gonna play some emails. Okay, so I don't know. I got an email recently. I don't know where it came from. I got an email with some statistics about our podcast that I was going to talk about.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know where it went. I don't know.
So, while we're thinking about that, how did you have any shows?
I did not have any big shows this past. I did. I did have a show to talk about. So last Wednesday, I had a show at I haven't already talked about this. I had a show at a retirement community. Did I talk about this?
No.
Okay. So no, actually, I take that back. It is not a retirement community.
Not a retirement community.
It is. I mean, they're all retired, but it is an assisted living facility, which is a different demographic than a retirement community. I have been doing a lot of retirement communities lately. I got connected with somebody who manages the activities for a group of retirement communities. And I've been doing a lot of shows for them. In fact, not this week, but next week, I'm doing one at a retirement community. These are very different than assisted living facilities.
Right.
Retirement communities, they are usually in their 50s or 60s. They're usually 55 and up. They're not even retired, some of them. It's
right.
It's just people that want to live in Florida who are over 55, basically.
And they're kind of tired of the younger generation.
Yes, and they're tired of hanging around young people, so they live in these communities, and they're just neighborhoods, these ones that I've been doing at least. The biggest one in the world is in the Villages, Florida. Which is, that's
huge.
Which is kind of gotten a name for itself. People kind of know what that place is, the Villages now. But it's So this one I'm doing, I did one a couple weeks ago, and it was a lot of fun. They seemed to have fun, and the lady who booked it was like, they had a lot of fun, so she booked me for some other stuff. So I've got pretty much one a month coming up here in the next few months.
Right.
And at different facilities around the Jacksonville area and the North Florida area. But Wednesday I did a show at Sawgrass. No, why did I say that? Seagrass. Seagrass in Fleming Island.
Okay, at least I know why. It's close.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah.
It's so I actually reached out to them a couple months ago when I was looking to add a show for Mark Christopher.
Okay.
And I was hoping to find, and I reached out to them a month before he was coming into town. Well, she didn't get back to me until the activities person or who was ever in charge of that kind of stuff didn't get back to me until about 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Or 3 weeks ago, maybe. And she's like, hey, would you mind coming on Wednesday? And we'd like you to do 2 shows. We'd like you to do 2 30-minute activities, or 2 30-minute sets. We'd like you to close our staff meeting. Now, this is not a normal staff meeting. They have food there. Like I don't know why, but it's some sort of activities staff meeting.
Okay.
It's like, okay, we'd like you to do, which is about 30 or 40 people. We'd like you to end our staff meeting with a 30-minute comedy set, and then we'd like you to go right into the main part, or go right into the bistro, they call it, and do a show for the residents.
Okay.
Now, these residents are, and when I asked her, I said, what's the average age? She's like, 80 is the average age. Like, that's the...
All right.
And I was like, oh, okay. And she's like, yeah, our oldest resident is 104.
That's up there.
Yeah, so that's science. We've done it.
That's
people are living to an average of 80 in this facility. And so it was mostly 80-ish. So there's some 70. There were a couple. There was I think a daughter there that was in her 50s or 60s of an 80-year-old.
I can't imagine being an 80-year-old person in there looking at the 104-year-old person going, man, I've got 24 more years of this.
I know. Isn't that insane to think of? Like,
wow.
They're not even in the same generation. Like, they're in different generations. And but it's like you think of like 80 and up as being one generation, right? But they're not. They're 2 different generations.
Yeah,
they're 24 years apart. Those 2 people, the 80-year-old and the 104-year-old. But in your head, you just think 80 and up, or even maybe 75 and up. You think of as being one generation, but it's not. That's 30 years apart. They're 30. That, like, you could have a 75-year-old in there, like that 104-year-old. The 80-year-old could be their child.
Yeah.
Like, or which that, like I was saying, there was somebody. I don't think they were a resident, but like somebody's daughter was there, and the daughter was 60. And it's like, oh, my daughter's come to visit. And they're 60, and it's like this, and this person's like 85 or something. People are living too long. I think we need to die sooner.
Or like segment by that generation. Like, hey, we're real cool, having the 80 pluses here, but let's get the 100-year-olds with the 100-year-olds so they can hang out with their friends.
Yeah, right. No, they don't have any friends.
Yeah, they don't want to listen to
they're all dead. All of their friends. The 104-year-old has no friends because they're dead.
Right, and they shouldn't have to listen to that crap Glenn Miller music that the 80-year-olds are listening to. Like, all that pop nonsense.
All that newfangled rock and roll Glenn Miller. Who does he think he is? Playing a clarinet as a lead. You can't play a clarinet as a lead. Are you kidding me?
Just and having nonsensical lyrics.
Back in my day, we had a drum. That was it. That was the only instrument that existed. It was a drum, and we beat it in 4/4 time.
And the lyrics better say that you love America or nothing else is happening.
Yes. However, America did not exist yet when I was born.
Nope.
It better say you love being in the colonies. That was it's crazy to think of a 104-year-old person lumped in with a 76-year-old person.
Yeah,
so anyway, the staff meeting. I hear it went well.
Okay. Nice.
I thought it was one of the worst shows I've ever done in my entire life. I don't know. I'm not even faulting the booker or faulting the show. It was, and I don't know what, I wasn't really thinking about it going into it, but it's like, they're in staff meeting mode. Like,
right.
they're not there to laugh. I've kind of focused on a couple people that were on board, but everybody else was just sitting there watching. They're very attentive. Nobody was on their phones. Nobody was like, no, one guy did fall asleep, but he was very old. I thought he was a resident at first, but he worked there. But other than that, everybody had their eyes on me. Like, I had their attention for 30 minutes.
Right.
But it was, I did not get very many laughs on that one. And I don't know. Now, afterwards, everybody talked about how great it was. Oh, yeah, great. That was really awesome. Thanks for coming. Now, she did have me write. She's like, if there's any way you can touch on what did she say? If there's any way you can touch on the 5 C's in your...
The 5 C's.
The 5 C's. And when she first said that, I was like, well, this is called seagrass. Like, are you talking about like this? I was thinking
the 7
and I was like, there's 7 of them, aren't there? Like,
what? Did they Pluto them?
Oh, right. They're like, no. Two of them aren't seas anymore.
Yeah. They're
we
large
we
ponds.
found out they're gulfs. And we've named them All America. But so anyway, turns out the 5 C's, and they were in an email, are their like, I don't know, their
cut, quality,
guidelines.
clarity.
Yeah. Carrot. No, there's like it's like compassion, consistency, or something. There was 5 C's. So she tells me this. By the way, she tells me this. She had emailed me in the very first email to do this, and I did not look at that. I completely missed that she had said that. So, and this is, luckily I went in like a couple hours before showtime because they were going to have their staff meeting first. So I wanted to make sure I was all set up before the staff meeting started because I was going at the end of the staff meeting. And I brought 2 setups. I brought one for the staff meeting and one for the main residents. So I brought 2 speakers, 2 microphones, everything. So she's like, "Oh, and if are you okay doing the?" And I should have said no. I should have said no. I'm just going to do comedy. Like I'm not going to do.
Right.
I'm not going to talk about the 5 C's. I should have said that. It would have gone better if I had said that. But I wanted to do what she had asked because she had asked me in the first email. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I looked at the email and I looked at the C's and I was like, okay, I have a story about communication. I could do that. I have a story about commitment. That was one of them.
Right.
So I was like, easy. Tell a marriage story, about commitment.
Yeah, absolutely.
About how I've been married for 17 years and go on about that. And then communication too. That's an easy marriage one too. There's Right. So I was like, okay, that's good. And I was like, character was one of them. And I was like, I don't know about. I was like, I'll just ask them what they think the character one is. Like, that was my plan for the ones I didn't have a story about. I'd ask them to tell the story. So my problem was I turned in, because nobody was laughing at the beginning, I kind of like turned into a motivational speaker. And like,
yeah.
but like open mic. Like if a motivational speaker went to an open mic and was trying to come up with ideas to be a motivational speaker, I like had all these like ideas floating around and nothing like solid. And like, I don't know. And I think I even said at one point, and if you're not yourself, you can't be yourself and show that you're yourself or something. Like, I think I said like, and I was like, I'm never getting hired to do anything else for these people.
You basically turned into a political candidate.
It was bad. It was bad. Those parts were bad. I had a couple, and at one point, probably about halfway through my set, about 15 minutes in, and I've got my watch on, and I started right at 3, I believe. Yeah, it was like 3 to 3:30, and then the residence was supposed to be 3:30 to 4, I think, something like that. So I started right on the dot, right at 3, and I was like, okay, it's 3:15. Which, by the way, the first problem with doing comedy in this situation was doing it at 3.
Yes.
Like, comedy is tough at 3. But I knew that. I've done plenty of corporate events. I've done stuff at noon. It's like, that I was not scared by that. I was like, I knew, I had my expectations set for the fact that it was going to be daylight and 3.
Yes.
So that was fine. I was fine with that. So So I get about 15 minutes in, and I'm like, okay, I'm like, I could tell I was like, why am I doing this? I was in the back of my head, like, why am I acting like a motivational speaker all of a sudden? That I have no idea. Like, I have not prepared for any of this. So then I was like, all right, I'm just done with that. I'm just gonna do my stand-up now, and I did, and it was fine, and it ended well. I had a good. It was still awkward because I was. Plus, it was not. It was just like they had just finished eating, so they were all like in long tables. They were just sitting all in long tables facing me, but the long tables weren't facing me. They were like sideways to me. So they're all like turned at the table a little bit, looking at me, and which was fine, but it was just not it wasn't. It was kind of a weird, awkward. It was a very wide setup, and I was trying to walk around and kind of talk, kind of focus on different people. Anyway, the next 15 minutes I feel like was okay, like it went better. I don't know. They seemed to like it. They seemed to come up to me afterwards and be like, "That was great. We had a lot of fun."
And one of the things that I like to always talk about, and I don't want to beat a dead horse with it, but the people who listen, frankly, if anybody ever is, that talk about comedy and like ask comedians about corporate gigs, they're so different than regular club shows because people are in their meeting, they're in their business, their office, day-to-day life. They're there thinking, hey, I'm still at work. They're not letting go. They're in the, hey, I'm in a work environment kind of thing. In working environments can be fun and people laugh, but people still can be uptight. And the bigger the organization is, the more likely it is people are going to not be as forthcoming with the laughs. Just
right, yeah, for sure. Yes, exactly. And I'm aware of that most of the time when it comes to corporate events and stuff like that. I'm always prepared for that mentally.
You are. They're not.
Yeah.
Those people don't know.
So anyway, so that's how that went. Then I went on to do the residence show, which the residence show went way better.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, they were there to have a good time. By the way, they have a bar. They just have a bar downstairs. There's like a full bar, and like they just, and it was 3:30, and they were drinking. Like, they had beers and Chardonnays and wine, and it's like, this is that generation lived that long because they're pickled. They've pickled themselves. They're like, it's 3:30 and they're already drinking, and it's like, they just walk downstairs and there's a bar where they live.
Hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere? Does that adjust based on age?
Yes.
Kind of like dinner time, like the early bird special. It's noon somewhere.
Yes, absolutely. I started, so in that one, I kind of started just, I would like focus on somebody and then kind of talk to them and roast them a little bit, and then I focus on another person. That went really well. The 104-year-old, I don't know that they came. They did not. I did not find out who it was if they did.
Right.
But there was a 96-year-old there.
Oh,
who loved it. Like, she was laughing at everything. I ended up talking to her, and by the way, her name was Gladys, because of course it was.
Absolutely,
absolutely her name. And I'd made fun of her. I was like, well, now what's your name? She goes, Gladys. I was like, are you messing with me right now? Your name's really Gladys? She's like, yeah. I was like, is everybody your age named Gladys? Is that how that works? If you're over 90, they just named like this year, this generation, we're just gonna name them all Gladys. How's that sound?
Like, we pre-ordered these birth certificates.
Yes, they all
boys
just say
get this,
Gladys.
girls get this.
Yes, exactly. So I just thought, so that was fun. Like, she was real fun. She was probably my favorite audience member. And then so that went way better. We had a lot of fun. Then and that was a half an hour. That half hour went way better than the first half hour. But I just thought, and then I went up to the bartender right before I started. I said, hey, can I get a water? And she's like, yeah. She gives it to me in a little foam cup with a bendy straw. Right. Like I was like, this is like,
right,
nursing home cup. Like, that was like that. Like, I was like, yeah, that seems like a hospital cup. But you satisfied the order, but you think you could upgrade a bit. Yeah. So anyway, that was my big show last week. And then otherwise normal shows, we had both, 2 open mics. Open mic this week. So this week's open mic for actually both open mics. Maybe it's because it's the week of 4th of July and people are in town or something. I don't know. But both Shantytown and Lily's had the most Shantytown, we get packed there a lot. Like that. I would say 2 or 3 times a month it'll be,
you're bursting.
To where I can't speak for some reason.
Right.
I don't know what. I forgot how to speak for a second.
Yeah. It happens. Yeah.
So yes, we're packed in there like sardines, probably 2 or 3 times a month. Like we get really good turnouts there. But we had a really good turnout with a lot of. We had a really good crowd. I would say the hot spot of the crowd was from like comic number 3 to comic number 7. I would say was the hot spot of the crowd, and then for some reason at some point around comic number 7. They all got more drunk. The drunk hit them all somehow at the 7th comic, and the show was gone. Like I don't know how they all at the same time got way more drunk than they were 10 minutes ago, but it was like they were not even comprehending the things like. To the point where people are like, well, it doesn't make any sense. Like all I said was my name. They were not comprehending the comedy at that point. They all were having a good time. They were laughing and they were enjoying it. But it's like you could tell every comic that went up was like every comic could tell they were not processing any of this properly.
Yeah, that's a fine line right there. It's like, hey, great audience to terrible audience.
Yes.
They
and we had this one guy who was there and he was just kind of too loud from the beginning. But very, like, I don't know, he wanted to be there. He was into it, but he was just a little too loud from the very beginning. And I had to bring it up, and I had to kind of squash that in my set. I was like, listen, you got to stop talking, man. And then eventually I just made fun of him, and then it kind of shut him up for a little bit. But he was way too into it. And then maybe about comic number 5, he comes up and I want to sign up. Which I should have said, like, hey, next time. Like, sign up next time.
Right.
But I was like, sure. And I let him sign up, and then he went, like, pretty much last. I had him go last. And he got up there, first of all, and just started talking about, like, I don't know what. Like, he was talking about, like, maybe somewhere he was working or something, like the job he had, and, like, they have these, this, I don't know. It was like, it sounded like a corporate, like, corporate retreat of, like, fake spirituality when it comes to the corporate office. You know how...
Did he talk about the 5 C's?
It sounded like that. Like, it sounded like... But he was talking about it in such a, like, sincere way, and then the drunk people just started going, like, tell jokes. What are you? And these were his friends, by the way. Like, tell a joke. This is a comedy show. Tell a joke. And they just started yelling at him until he's like, fine, I'll tell a joke. Like it was an imposition for him to sign up for an open mic and be expected to be funny.
I mean, like, people just want to see me.
Yeah, exactly.
People want to see me.
So he finally tells a joke, which was some internet, joke, some sort of tacky internet joke. Finally tells a couple of those. I give him the light at some point, and he's like, I don't know if I've had the light. I don't know how long we're supposed to be up here. And it was like he was already at like 6 or 7 minutes. And then finally we got him off stage. And then I was like, all right, well, there's still a crowd here. I was like, we're done. Like, all our comics are done. It's not too late yet. Like, it's not, we're past 10 o'clock, but we're not to 10:30 yet.
Right.
Which if we end around 10 o'clock, 10:15 is usually that's where I'm shooting for. And so I was like, you know what, I'll do some more time. So I started doing more time, and I was like, no, these people are gone. Like, they are here. They are paying attention. They are gone, though. Like, they are way too drunk to understand anything I'm saying. Which, by the way, 10:15 is not late enough for that. Like, no. But it is at Shantytown.
On a Monday
night.
On a Monday night.
At 10:15.
Now, the one thing I will say about that, we'll say Monday nights are usually service industry nights. So
that's true. So that is true. Yeah,
that's the weekend for all the people who usually
because they work through the weekend and then they have Mondays off.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a lot of businesses are closed on Monday.
Yes,
for that reason. So you're right. That is usually when the service industry shows up and lets loose. So that does make a little. That's why Mondays have always been a good night. In my experience, Mondays have always been a good night for open mics.
Oh yes.
In my opinion, the best night for open mics is Monday.
Absolutely.
Because of that, because of the service industry going out on Mondays, because that's their weekend.
Back in the day when I started, that's when the Comedy Zone did their open mic. It was Monday night, and it was consistently.
Oh, you were around when they had the open mic?
I was around when they had the open mic on Mondays.
I remember Fred talking about that and how much he hated it, and then he stopped doing it.
How much he hated it and stopped doing it, but it consistently had a decent
On
crowd.
A Monday.
At least when I started.
Yeah. So. Well, and I think it's specifically for that reason. That's the service industry weekend is Monday nights. Also, all the holidays are on Mondays. All the weekday, all the extra holidays are always on Mondays, and then also, it's kind of some people can kind of let the weekend run into Monday a little bit.
Oh yeah,
there's always, in my opinion, that's the best time to have an open mic is on a Monday. Now, I would say the second best time to have an open mic, maybe Wednesday, just because people like to go out in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Thursday, though. Maybe Thursday. I only say Thursday because
it's leading into
the weekend. It leads into the weekend. And people are like, you know what? I'll go out on Thursday because I can phone it in on Friday, and I've only got one day to worry about. And we would get, for instance, when we ran the cigar bar show at Island Girl on Gate Parkway, I don't know why I shouted them out. Don't go there. It's terrible. I hate that place. I'm not even kidding. I hate that place now. It's completely gone downhill. All the regulars we knew there stopped going there because it sucks. Don't go to, pardon my language, don't go to Island Girl Cigar Bar, Gate Parkway. Anyway, we had a show there for 2.5 years.
Right.
And it was a 10 o'clock Thursday show.
Yes.
And we had, for a good while, we had a good crowd. And I think people were willing to kind of, even though it was a late night show, they're like, you know what, I can go out late night on a Thursday and I can phone it in on Friday and I'll be okay.
Yeah.
So maybe Thursday's second best time to have an open mic or a show. That's the classic. Their Comedy Zone has shows on Thursday. They have headliner shows on Thursdays.
Right. Yeah. That's why I think Thursday I would vote for that one.
Yeah, maybe Thursday's the second best. I don't know. I think Thursday might be the best time to do a booked show on a weekday. I'd say that's the prime time to do a booked show. That's not on a weekend. And then I would say Monday's the best day for open mics, and then Wednesday's the second best day for open mics.
Okay.
And then Thursday's the best day to do a booked show that is not on a weekend. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. Speaking of statistics, we have gotten some statistics about our podcast.
Okay.
I don't know. I swear I saw an email, and I don't know where it went. But I got an email recently. Where did that email go?
So you're bringing it back up, having not found the email.
So yes. So I do have one email. I do have an email that has some of our statistics. This one. Okay. So with the Todayispodcast, here's a snapshot of how. Okay. So here are some statistics that have been sent to us from Apple.
Okay.
Podcasts. Here's our top 3 things that, when you search this, I guess is how it's trying to tell us.
Okay.
Here's our keyword rankings.
And Apple should know. Apple should know this.
Yeah. Now there is a Spotify ranking here too.
Okay.
But we are 77th when it comes to podcasts that have the keyword Joey in them.
Oh, hey, number 77.
We were number 77. We were the 77th Joey podcast.
That's a pretty high Joey ranking.
High, also considering that, I don't know. I guess they're probably not counting Joe Rogan in that. That's not
right. Yeah, but
he takes up spots 1 through 76 now. But yes, we are 77th when in podcasts with the keyword Joey. We are 91st in podcast with the keyword notable comedians.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why notable. Neither one of us are notable comedians, but
no,
we're not. Maybe that's why we're only 91st in that one.
We've probably mentioned them.
Yeah, we are 99th when it comes to podcasts with the keyword Brian Bates.
Wow.
I have no idea why Brian Bates. That doesn't even make any sense to me. I feel like we've mentioned Dusty Slay more than Brian Bates.
We absolutely like I know I've mentioned Brian Bates because I saw him perform
that's what I was thinking. But why are we even? Why is that even on our board?
Is there a Bobby ranking?
No, there's no Bobby ranking.
So Brian Bates is getting higher play than me
than
on
somebody
podcast.
Whose name is on the podcast.
Yeah.
Somehow Brian Bates is getting more keyword matches for our podcast. Maybe Brian Bates listens to our podcast.
If so,
Brian, if you listen to our podcast, please reach out. Todayispodcast@gmail.com and let us know if you listen. Because for some reason, we're getting mentioned when it comes to when people search for Brian Bates. Ours is the 99th hit. I don't know if that even means anything.
Brian Bates, we've got 99 problems, and you're one of them. Apparently,
apparently, it's just so weird. Like I don't even. Yes, Brian Bates beats Bobby as a keyword in our podcast.
Yeah, right. So. Brian, apparently you have an open invitation to join our podcast at any time since you are more popular than me.
By the way, all this mentioning of Brian Bates right now is bringing us up to 95.
Yeah, we've now become part of the cycle.
Yes. we are adding to the our Brian Bates ranking is going up as we speak. But it's just so weird. I don't know. It's really odd. So anyway, those are our stats. That's the only thing they could give us. And this is a company sent us these stats, I think, to try to entice us into hiring them to help promote our podcast. I think that's the point of this.
Is that a company run by Brian Bates?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe Brian Bates owns this company. I'm not going to shout them out just because I don't know if they're a good company or anything. If we end up using them, maybe I will shout them out. But I just think that's funny that, we've put together some of your statistics so you can see the kind of, maybe they put this together like, listen, you guys need to step it up, so you better hire us. You're only 99th in the Brian Bates game. We could bring you to 80th.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. They enticed me with the number 77 Joey ranking.
Yes, right. That did entice me. That was some interesting statistics, I thought.
Yeah, there's a lot of Joeys out there.
Do you have a pen or just a note? You can do a note on your phone or something. Yeah. So I'm gonna show you. So we did get some fan mail that I wanted to bring up. So first I'm going to read the latest fan mail. Okay, so this is fan mail this is a response to our Make Music Day.
Okay.
Let's see. I loved it. You made my day. 4 minutes and a few seconds of it. Chicago is great. I loved Daniel refusing to sing. Bobby, that was painful. Anyways, thanks for another great episode. So that was our 4-minute episode we did while I was in Ohio, and Bobby had a painful experience. By the way, I asked you to do this, and I expected. First of all, you did it. I will commend you right now. That was the fastest you've ever sent me, and like immediately. Like I was like, "Hey, could you just sing something? Like make some music of some kind?" 30 seconds later, I had an audio of you singing some weird. Oh, and you asked like, "Does it need to be public domain?" I was like, probably. Probably make it public domain.
One, I would like to say I was very proud of that question. And two, you hit the sweet spot. The family was getting ready for bed, but they were in the bathroom, so I could be as loud as I needed to be.
Yeah.
So like everyone was like brushing their teeth, and I'm like, this is the moment I have. I've got to do it right now.
This is it, yeah.
Or go outside.
And you did. You delivered.
Yes.
And we got that clip for the podcast.
And I would like to say everyone in my family is musically talented except for me.
You know, I will say it was not that bad.
Yeah.
I feel like your singing ability is not that bad. It's you could figure it out. You could do some karaoke and be okay. I feel like
karaoke frightens me, but yes. Thank you. I appreciate most of the singing I've done on stage has been for comic effect, and by most I mean every bit of it.
All right. Okay. So. So I want you to make a note of how long we've been recording. Okay, we're at 39 minutes and 37 seconds. So the reason why I say this at 39 minutes and 37 seconds, are you going to text it to me?
Yep.
That's a good idea. So the reason why I say that is because we have some, one of our podcast listeners has sent us some AI images of our podcast. And I'm going to try to put them onto the video so you can take a look at them.
Oh, I like this.
So I don't know why, but he got real caught up into, this is John. John sent us these, our biggest listener.
Okay.
And I don't know why, but he got real caught up in Care Bears. I don't know why. But here's an image of the Today Is podcast. Here's a Care Bear image.
I like it.
There's Bobby with the laugh. He's got the laugh belly. Okay,
Right,
you know
right.
how Care Bears have the Care Bear stare belly? He's got the comedy picture,
Yeah.
which I always think it's funny when you see posters for comedy shows and it's got the two masks.
Right.
It's got the comedy and tragedy. I'm like, that's we having a tragedy open mic too? Like we
According to some of the open micers I've listened to, yeah.
You know what? That might be accurate. And then I, for some reason, have a heartbeat monitor
Yes.
on my belly.
Yeah.
Because they're afraid I'm going to die. I guess.
You look like your heart attack bear.
Yeah, I am a heart attack bear. I have a heart with a heartbeat monitor. Anyway, that's the first one he sent me, and then he decided to adjust it a little bit and made it a little brighter.
Okay.
And this one's I actually like this one a lot. I've got a microphone on my belly,
Right.
and you've got headphones on your belly.
Which actually works because and I am not saying this in a bad way. You talk more and I listen more.
That is true. That is true. However, I'm the one who wears headphones.
Right.
So that is kind of funny.
It is the vibe works. That is definitely.
Yeah, I like this one actually.
Definitely
I think
the
I
vibe.
like this one. I like it better than the other one. The first one was a little dark, like just color wise.
Right. I will say I don't like that your first name is different color than.
Oh yeah,
everyone.
that is weird. Why is the Joey? You know what? 77, number 77 in podcast with Joey.
Yeah,
We've got to really play into that. That's our biggest asset is that there's a Joey in our podcast.
That's true. I wasn't thinking forward enough.
Yeah.
Someday, if I can get a Bobby ranking, maybe my name can look that good.
Exactly. Yeah, you work towards that Bobby ranking. So that's picture number 2. Here's picture number 3. I'm not sure. Yeah, this one. Oh, this is grilled cheese day.
Oh,
Grilled cheese sandwich day. So we have grilled cheeses on our bellies.
Yeah. So and grilled cheese is in our bellies.
And in our bellies. And I only have half a watch band for some reason.
Yeah. So I love AI images like that. Apparently, I've got a magic wand.
Yeah, you've got a magic wand.
Which makes sense.
And we have two different. My microphone and magic wand are the same. I have a magic wand microphone, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, that's so there's that, and then he made a general one that is not Care Bears based, and it is a cereal based image.
I do.
Todayi's.
So I love this one, except you've got coffee.
That's true. Could be hot chocolate.
Could be hot
yeah,
cocoa.
but I don't drink coffee.
No, but I that is the perfect image of me. That is, you definitely need to make sure I get a copy of that because that is me.
That looks like you. That certainly looks like you. Now, I have been, since he sent me these images, I dove deep into AI.
Right.
And I've been doing a lot of AI content lately, just trying to, you know what? I will say, of all the AI that I've done recently, I am not worried about AI taking our jobs because a lot of it they mess up. AI is not very perfect yet.
No, but I've also spoken to some of the people whose jobs are in jeopardy, and they're morons. So
okay.
I don't know if AI can be worse.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about AI taking people's jobs at this point. I think it's probably coming someday, but I think we're good for the year 2025. Just because it's I was trying to make an AI poster for our show on the 11th,
right?
And I have fought with AI about this. First of all, I told it specifically I wanted it in 4:3 aspect ratio from the beginning. Sent it to me. I was like, this is not in 4:3 aspect ratio. And they're like, you know what? You're right. Also, ChatGPT, the way they do things, they always start off with, whenever you have a problem, they always start off with, you know what? You're absolutely right. Let me fix it for you. And then they don't fix it. Yeah. But it wasn't in 4:3. I was like, hey, this is not in 4:3. It's like, you know what? You're absolutely right. It is in 2:3 aspect ratio. Did you want it exactly in 4:3 aspect ratio? It's like, yes. Why would I not want it at exactly 4:3 aspect ratio? So then I do it again. It's like, all right, let me take a crack at it. By the way, every time it sent me a picture, it was like worse than the last one. Like it was like a clone of a clone every time. You know what I mean? Like it was a copy of a copy of it. It was like it would get worse and worse. It would less and less like me. It would like the images and the words would change. Like the one time it said like like the information, instead of Friday it said Frives. And it was like, it just none of it made sense by the end.
Did you ever see the Michael Keaton movie Multiplicity?
Yes, it was exactly that. Yes. Like every time it would send me a new image, it would be worse than the last one.
A copy of a copy, and it's a special needs Michael Keaton.
Yes, I don't understand why it's not just translating what I ask it to do into what I want. Instead, it's generating something completely new.
Do you know what ChatGPT basically is the government?
Yeah, right.
You're telling the government, like, hey, this would be very helpful. And they're saying, hey, how about we give you something that's worse?
Yes, exactly. Like, hey, could you do this for us? Oh, how's this? Is this what you wanted? No, this is not what I wanted. I asked for something very specific. I don't know. So some people have figured out how to use ChatGPT, and they figured out, like, you need to say this and you need to say that. So I have found some prompts. I've tried some fun copy and paste prompts that have turned out really well.
Right.
But I don't know how to use it yet myself. I don't know how to get it to do what I want it. And I made an AI poster for Shantytown this week, and all I did was I said, hey, can you turn this into a comic book cover? I wanted it to look kind of like a comic book cover, and it did a pretty good job, except for it did say Florida instead of Florida. It was like in Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm like, where are they getting that? Like what? Like,
so the only good thing about that is you can change a P to an F pretty easy.
Right. It's easy to fix some of this stuff. And it did say hosted by like twice for some reason. It said hosted by up here and then hosted by Joey Nickel, and so I had to erase one of the hosted bys. But I didn't see the Florida until I'd already posted it, and my wife texted me. I was like, "Did you know it says Florida? It says Jacksonville, Florida." I was like, "All right."
Hey, well, I do think us mentioning Shantytown a lot plays into this week's theme.
That is true. Okay, so this week's theme, it is American Redneck Day.
Yes, it is, which will also explain why
you're dressed like this.
Yes,
I feel like I'm wearing a Buc-ee's trucker hat, which I feel like is pretty redneck. Right?
It is. That's like a high class redneck move.
Yeah, and I will say I do have a bit about how I almost look redneck, but I wear the glasses to kind of soften it up.
Right. Yep.
So I can look a little more hipster. So I kind of have I've thought about naming my album Hipster Redneck, like just because that's my bit.
Redneck Hipster.
Or Redneck Hipster or something like that.
That's got a better ring in my mind.
But the problem with that is that it is a visual gag.
Right.
So, like, I don't know if I could do an album based, like, the whole album. Like, I guess I could say, like, you got to look at the cover of the album.
Your face would have to be on the cover.
Yeah, right.
And that,
to get the joke for the visual gag. I don't know.
Absolutely.
So to celebrate, I would say, you know what's funny is Mountain Dew is definitely a redneck drink.
Absolutely. 100%.
Mountain Dew is definitely a redneck drink, and I don't even know why. Like why? I don't know quite why it's a redneck drink.
I know it was created in Tennessee.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh.
So it was developed in Tennessee.
Oh, maybe that's why it's kind of a redneck drink.
One of the ingredients is orange juice. Or like that.
Well, did you know
that
that Mountain Dew was? I don't know if it was intended for this originally, but it was marketed as a mixer. Okay. So Mountain Dew was supposed to be, but the original Mountain Dew was made with orange juice.
Yes.
Is that what you said?
And I still think
do they still have orange juice in it?
Yes, it's still like
it does have a citrusy taste.
Right, it is supposed to
I don't know that I would have said orange juice. I probably would have said lemon lime or something. But yeah, now that you say that, I would say it does kind of have an orange juice flavor to it still.
I think it was called like it got that mixer thing and became a redneck drink because it was marketed for bourbon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense in the area it was created then. So it is a redneck drink then.
Right, yeah.
It has redneck origins. It has southern origins.
Absolutely.
Also, another southern drink is Cheerwine. That's a North Carolina.
Cheerwine's so good.
I love Cheerwine.
Oh,
Every time I drive up north, if I'm driving like through North Carolina or whatever, it's always fun to get Cheerwine on tap.
Yes.
I always like that. Or just, bring home like a 12-pack of Diet Cheerwine. It's hard to find Diet Cheerwine. They do have it sometimes at Winn-Dixie here, though. They do have it.
Yes.
But not always Diet.
No. This might not be considered canon as far as redneck drinks go.
Yeah.
But I think it's northern redneck drink is Verner's.
Yeah, I could see that. Verner's. The ginger ale?
Yeah, it's a ginger soda. I think they really truly bill it as. It's
I could see that.
Strong ginger, but that's the country places up north is where I found it, and I've always enjoyed it. I loved it.
Yeah, I could see that. Now I was gonna look up do you know where does do you have a hard out?
Around 45.
Time? What time is it now?
It's 11:25 right now.
Okay. So. I was gonna look up where does the term redneck come from?
So I'm guessing, but I believe it is because of the sunburn that Scotch Irish people get on their necks.
That is what AI says. That's what Gemini says.
Okay.
It looks like. The sunburn origin on the neck. Also, did you hear a story about red bandanas at one point?
Red bandanas? No.
Where the coal workers would wear red bandanas?
Huh.
Actually, no. I have heard specific, I think there might be a separate origin because coal workers, not coal workers, oil drillers refer to themselves as rednecks.
As roughnecks.
Roughneck, never mind. It's roughnecks. Yep. Yeah, you're right. Anyway, forget all that. That has nothing to do with our topic.
No.
Yeah, they're called roughnecks. All right, so in honor of American Redneck Day, like I said, I've been really into AI lately, and I got AI to write us a country song.
Ooh, I love this because it's also July 3rd, so July 4th, America.
Yeah.
We're right there. And my favorite activity on July 4th, we grill out on the back porch, sit by the pool, and watch our redneck neighbors light thousands of dollars of fireworks.
Yeah, that's always awesome.
So we can do it for free.
So I will say, as far as redneck lifestyle is concerned, I do have another thing for that too. But as far as redneck lifestyle is concerned, I don't consider myself to have a very redneck lifestyle, but we are. I don't know if you do. I don't know if you consider.
Not really.
Not real. I don't think so. But I did find a quiz that we're going to take.
Okay.
To find out which one of us is more redneck.
Excellent.
But before we do that, we're going to play. Now, I was having a problem getting it plugged in and having us both be able to listen to it. So I'm just going to put my microphone up to the speaker of my computer.
Okay.
And hope that helps. Now, this is the third or fourth prompt that I've given this program to try and make me just different AI songs. They all are terrible. They're all really bad songs.
Okay.
I don't enjoy them. I would not listen to these songs if they came on the radio. I'd immediately switch them. They're just making bad songs.
Okay.
I don't know if they're doing that on purpose or if they're just because it's an amalgamation of whatever's popular. It just sounds so terrible.
Right.
So this is another reason I'm not too worried about AI taking our jobs.
Okay.
But I'll play it for you. The prompt I first gave was write a country song about Joey Nickel and Bobby Parker and their redneck lifestyle. That was the first prompt. And I didn't like the style of it, so I said do an outlaw country song. And instead of changing styles to Johnny Cash, because I don't like modern country, I like older country.
Right.
Instead of changing styles to Johnny Cash, it just made the song about us breaking the law. That, that was Joey Nickel and Bobby Parker out breaking the law.
That is what we do.
Yeah.
We're well-known hooligans.
Exactly. Yeah, that's basically what the song is. So I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it for you. Make sure the volume's up all the way. Okay, I'm gonna play it for you here, and you tell me what you think.
Joey Nickel had a beat-up truck rusted to the frame. Bobby Parker had a shotgun, said let's go chasing cane. They hit the back roads laughing, dust rising in the night. Two good old boys with nothing to lose, just looking for a fight.
That's what we are.
Stopped by Missy's diner, swiped a cherry pie, left a 20 on the counter, winked and waved goodbye. The sheriff knew their number.
By the way, our breaking the law that I gave us just now was we went to a diner, swiped a pie, and left $20. Here's our outlaw lifestyle. We pay too much for pie. That's how that goes.
Or not enough.
Or not enough. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe we paid just not enough.
Yeah, like we didn't leave a tip or something like that. And
I don't know where the speakers are on my computer.
And my front door just opened.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, go close your front door. I'll keep playing it here.
But he never stood a chance. When Joey floored the pedal, Bobby hollered, "Let's dance." Joey Nickel and Bobby Parker, kings of the county line, running wild through the holler, living on borrowed time. With a whiskey jar and rebel heart, they'd always find their way. Two outlaws chasing freedom in a redneck masquerade.
What is a redneck masquerade?
I think it knows that I was dressing up like a redneck for today.
This is a redneck masquerade right
Yes.
now. Bobby Parker.
They lit a cigarette, swore to the moon above, they die with no regrets. Bobby carved their names in an old oak tree, while Joey played a fiddle tune in outlaw harmony. The preacher said they burned someday, but they just tipped their hats. They weren't the type to settle down or wear no Sunday slacks. With
We don't wear no Sunday slacks.
No, not at all.
fire in their veins, they ride till the end through the thunder and the rain. Joey Nickel and Bobby Parker, kings of the county line, running wild through the holler, living on borrowed time. With
Woo!
a whiskey jar and rebel heart, they'd always find their way. Two outlaws chasing freedom in a redneck masquerade.
Two outlaws chasing freedom in a redneck masquerade.
That might be my favorite country song of all time now. One, I had a shotgun.
Yeah.
And two, we're chasing freedom in a redneck masquerade.
By the way, still the only thing we've done so far is stolen a pie, but paid for it. The only thing we've done so far is not gone through the proper channels in order to procure a pie.
This is exactly what my kind of crime spree would be.
This is outlaw Joey Nickel and Bobby Parker. Oh, those Joey Nickel, those podcast boys. They're always those podcast boys, man. I don't know what to do about them. They're always taking pies. I don't know. You mean like they're stealing pies? No, they pay for them. It's like, oh, they pay for them? Like, how much are these pies? It's like, they're maybe like $10. It's like, how much are they paying for the pies? Well, they always leave a 20. It's like,
they're not properly leaving sales
but
tax.
they're not itemizing their sales tax. Like, they're not letting me give them a receipt. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't even know how to register it. Like, it doesn't make no sense. They're just taking pies and giving us $20. And they're like, have you talked to the sheriff about this? Nah, the sheriff won't do nothing. He knows he can't catch him. It's like, you all know they're stealing these pies.
I did not have a chance to make another strawberry rhubarb before the lunch rush.
That pie was designated for someone else, and they took it and paid $20. Yeah. This is. I'll try to clean it up and post if you can't hear it very well, but it is.
That's fantastic.
Joey Nickel and Bobby Parker. The name of the song definitely is Redneck Masquerade, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But why Redneck Masquerade? That's such a weird.
I don't know, but that's fantastic phrasing. I don't get it, but I love it.
It's very poetic. So, like I said, the song style is not great, but it is hilarious. Like,
yes.
I like, and I actually, the lyrics ended up pretty good. That was the best of 4 that I came up with. The others I did not like. I did not like the others. All right. So I have one more thing I want to do about rednecks. So I have this quiz for us to take.
Oh, I love redneck quizzes.
So this is howstuffworks.com. They have what redneck are you? So this is what percentage of redneck are you?
Okay, fantastic.
So we'll start the quiz. We'll do you first.
Okay.
All right. How many hunting dogs do you have? None. I have dogs, but they're not hunting dogs. 2 or 6?
0.
How often do you chew tobacco? Are you kidding? Gross. I tried it once and hated it. Not often, all the time.
I'm gonna have to go with not very often.
You have done it before?
I did it. I enjoyed it when I played football in college, and I quit. But I'm never gonna do it again.
Have you ever picked up a date at a convenience store? What? No, but I have flirted with one before. Flirted with a convenience store? I have once, or I do it all the time.
I have once.
You have once.
Yes.
All right, you might be more redneck than me. Have you ever shot a beer can?
Yes.
I have never shot a beer can. No, but I would. Yeah, here and there. Yeah, I have done it a ton.
I'm gonna go with here and there. I have not shot a whole lot recently.
Have you ever chilled beer in your tub?
Yes.
Yes. Wait, the answers are you kidding? Wait, what? That's a thing? No, but I might try that, and of course.
Of course.
All right. How many baseball hats do you own? None, 2, 5, more than 10.
It's probably between 5 and 10, so we'll go more than 10.
More than 10?
I probably have some I don't know of.
How many spare tires do you own? I think I have 1. I'm not sure. 1, 2, more than 2.
2, because we've got one in each car.
One in each car, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Have you ever driven a tractor on an errand? No way. Who does that? No, but I can drive one. Sure, I have.
No, but I can drive one.
Yeah. Have you ever hit a deer with your truck on purpose? What? No way. No, but I know people that have. Well, of course.
No way.
No way. What do you think of Hee Haw? I have no idea what you're talking about. It's awful. It's pretty good. It's the best show ever.
Pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah,
Favorite country singer? Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, or Hank Williams?
Well, out of those, it's Willie.
What do you think of Camaros? They're dumb. They're fine. They're pretty cool. They are the coolest cars ever.
They are dumb.
I would agree with that.
Yes, I never liked them.
What is your favorite truck? Nissan Frontier, Toyota Tundra, Dodge Ram, Ford F-150.
Out of those, I probably gotta go Ford.
Do you have any relatives named Billy Bob? Obviously not. I don't think so. I have one. My name is Billy Bob.
I've got a Jim Bob, but no Billy Bob. So.
I mean, you're halfway there.
Yes, I am. So, but no.
I don't think so. Or obviously not.
I don't think so is probably the better choice based on my family.
Yeah. Do you have an above ground pool?
Nope.
Nope. Yeah.
I've never. Yep. Nope is good. I've swam in them.
Do you have a homemade fur coat?
Yuck.
How does that happen? No, those are hard to make, or I sure do. Yuck.
Yeah.
What is your favorite color? Blue, red, green, camo.
We're gonna go with blue.
Have you ever fought for custody of a hunting dog? Why would I do that? No, but I do like dogs. No, but I might. Well, sure, those are hard to find.
We're gonna go. Why would I do that?
Yeah. This is a long quiz, turns out.
It is.
What does your house smell like? Cleaning chemicals, flowers, wood smoke, butane.
I'm gonna go with cleaning chemicals. I don't think it smells like any of those, but.
How many flannels do you own? None, a couple, around 5, 10 or more.
None. I've got a couple flannel pajama pants at this point. That's it.
Do you have a trash bag where your car window should be? No, that's not my style. No, but I have. I do indeed.
No, but I have.
You have in the past.
Yes, I had a broken window.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah, sometimes you can't get to window tape.
Yeah,
fast enough.
Yeah, like, hey, I've got to get this fixed, and it's not open until tomorrow.
What have you spent most on? My house, my education, partying, my truck.
Oh, my house.
That's. How loud is your car? Not loud at all. Maybe a little loud. Pretty loud. Seriously loud.
Not loud at all.
Not loud at all. Do you have to go down a dirt road to get to your place? No. No, I live in the suburbs.
Yeah, I think no, I live in the suburbs works.
How dark is it outside your place at night? Not that dark, pretty dark, almost completely dark. It's pitch black.
Oh, I'm gonna say pretty dark.
Pretty dark?
Yeah, it's pretty dark out back.
Do you like NASCAR? I can't stand it. Not really. It's pretty cool. I love it.
I want to say not really. Like I don't care for.
How
it.
are your teeth? Flawless, good, okay, awful.
Good.
Yeah. Are you into Walmart? Can't stand it. Not so much. Sure, I like that place. Well, that's the best place.
Sure, I like that place.
Have you ever worn a mullet? Well,
I have one now.
you have one now. No way. No, those are lame. A long time ago, I have one now. Yeah, we're gonna go with I have one now.
Yeah, and I did used to have one as a hairstyle.
Even though this is not a real mullet right now, you do have one.
Yes.
What meat have you eaten most often lately? Chicken, steak, deer, squirrel?
Oh, I eat a lot of chicken and steak. Most recently, we'll go with chicken.
There we go. You are. Wait, did I finish it? Oh, there. Finish quiz.
I was gonna say there's zero.
Oh, you got 0%.
There's no way I'm 0% redneck.
I feel like this did not work.
You have to hit quit finish quiz, and
I did hit finish quiz.
I don't think it worked.
All right, I don't know how you got 0%.
I'm 0% redneck sitting here in a Mountain Dew hat with a mullet.
They didn't even ask about a Mountain Dew hat. This quiz is a sham.
Yes,
That was a waste of our time.
I think we've proven that AI will never succeed.
Yeah, AI will never succeed. I will say that there are some things about the redneck lifestyle that I do enjoy. I really like fishing.
Fishing's nice.
I would like to live off the grid. I would like that in my life.
Yeah.
I would like to live out in the middle of nowhere off the grid, but I don't want to live without internet, air conditioning, that kind of stuff. I would like to live off the grid in a comfortable way somehow.
I like the idea of like an RV or like a travel van,
right?
That has like all the accommodations, so I could like go to shows and like kind of live off the grid there, but still come back to my house.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That would be fun. I do have fantasies about like going off to a cabin for a week to write or something like that.
Oh yeah,
that would be fun. All right. Well, today has been American Redneck Day. Happy American Redneck Day, the day before 4th of July. So happy Independence Day. By the way, there is a Friday is Independence Day, but it is also it is also Invisible Day.
Invisible Day.
And Indivisible Day.
And Indivisible Day.
Why are those on the same day?
Oh, because you're not supposed to see Invisible Day.
But like Invisible and Indivisible, they're completely different things, but they look very similar on paper.
Right, and I think Invisible Day did that just so it can hide in plain sight.
That is probably true, because Invisible Day is a sentient being. All right. Well, today has been American Redneck Day.
American Redneck Day.
Do you have any shows coming up?
We've got shows coming up with each other. We've got Bottlenose Brewing coming up.
Please buy a ticket to Bottlenose Brewing, July 11th.
July 11th.
Please buy a ticket. I think I put the ticket link in our podcast description last week. I'm going to try to do it again this week. Look for I think we're gonna have an ad come out soon. I know the place was gonna pay for a Facebook ad, so take a look at that. I'm probably gonna post a few videos trying to promote the show. So July 11th, please come to Bottlenose. Jay Pa is on that show. Richard Aragon is on that show. Please come out to that show. If you're one of my family members or churchgoers, you could come to this show. It's going to be mostly us.
Right.
It's going to be mostly me and Bobby, so it's going to be mostly clean. Richard's not clean, but he's going on early. J-Paw J-Paw's pretty mostly clean, I would say, or can be. She's going to be emceeing. I asked her to be the MC for the night. Anyway, come out to that show, July 11th, Bottlenose Brewing. They have food, so if you don't drink, come eat. It'll be a lot of fun. Anyway, today has been American Redneck Day. My name is Joey Nickel.
I'm Bobby Parker.
See you tomorrow.
Have a good one.